what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. Somebody said Bo Diddley to the Saints. Who are we talking about? We're not talking about.
Yeah, Bo Davis. So according to Luke Johnson, the Saints are expected to hire Bo Davis to be their defensive line coach, according to a league source, adding another coach from the college ranks. Of course, Davis most recently worked as a defensive line coach at LSU and is considered one of the NCAA's better D-line coaches. Kellen Moore, I'll fight you.
Oh, man, that's a big hit for LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they paid $1.5 million to get Bo Diddley. Kellen,
chill out.
He's an elite technician. He's an elite recruiter. I guarantee he's absolutely sick of the college game. I mean, remember when he's berating Texas players a couple of years ago about their toughness and everything? And now when you think about the players that he's got to deal with, the transfer portal, everything else, like a long-time college coach, like, yeah, the NFL. And plus, they probably paid him more, right? I imagine you'd have to. Even though that's a lot of money for an NFL
That's a lot of money
coach.
for NFL
I actually almost,
coach.
I mean, I wonder. I mean, but would he leave? Like, is that how miserable he is with the new generation of players that he would leave for less money? But, man, that is a big hit at a not a great time of the year, of the hiring kind of cycle for LSU here. I mean, what Bo Davis did with last year's defensive line was fantastic.
It was. I mean, you talked about a position group that just left a lot to be desired with this, who you had available. There were some misses in the transfer portal, which, I mean, maybe I guess looking back, retrospect, they weren't as big as we thought they were with the players and how much they actually received and what they did with their team. But he took a defensive line that was held together with duct tape and super glue and made them respectable. Like, they weren't the best in the SEC, but with who they had and who they were rolling in there, they played damn hard and they played above their ceiling.
Yeah.
Like, Gio Paez is somebody that went in there and you got literally the most that you possibly could. And then you started to play some of these young defensive linemen. You could see them by the end of the year that they were ready to play in the SEC. And so I think a lot of people were excited because, that position group got elevated this year. You can have a better opportunity to go be one of the top maybe defensive fronts in the SEC. I think your talent went up there, and Bo Davis is somebody that everybody knows what he can do. He did it at Alabama, did it at Texas, did it here in a single year back at LSU. And so, there's no way to sit here and shrug that off. That's a major loss for LSU.
Yeah. Now, if I wanted to maybe, temper some of the disaster here, you still have Kevin Peoples, and that's the guy who works with the edges. And so don't attribute the success of Swenson and Savion Jones and those guys on the edge to Bo Davis. But, man, from a recruiting vibe, technician standpoint, I mean, there's a reason why Bo Davis was paid $1.5 million a year to come be LSU's defensive line coach. What's funny about this is at a time, Nookie says, Louisiana fans are pissed at the Saints. How can we make it worse? At a time when people already are starting to loathe Mickey Loomis. He hits him with the 1-2 of, hey, we're committed to Derek Carr, and hey, I'm hiring Bo Davis away from your favorite college team.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
It's not good. Not good. Not a great time for the Saints. And we were doing so well. We were so excited about all the hires that you were making and bringing in Nussmeier to be your OC and Staley to be your DC and Terry Joseph, somebody that was, is a part of the Joseph family, which is, obviously a huge name in Louisiana, Shaw legend. All of it was going so well. And now you're stealing one of the best coaches that LSU had. There goes the momentum.
Damn, Mickey. Huge bummer for the players themselves. Well, again, let's see who they end up being replaced with. But as a player with a position coach, when you know you have one of the greats, that is inherently exciting. Because Bo Davis's resume is such that he doesn't have to convince you to trust him. I always talk about it. The main thing that you want from a player-to-coach relationship is, do I have full concrete trust that if I do what you're telling me, that it's going to make me better, even if I think it sounds a bit weird or maybe a bit crazy, it doesn't work. And when you have that trust with a coach, it's one of the best feelings in the world. Those are the coaches that you remember for the entirety of your life. Bo Davis's resume and skins on the wall were such that when you walked into that room, you immediately trusted him. You didn't have to be convinced. It didn't have to be proven to you. Who knows if that's the case with the next guy. And I want to be painfully clear about this. I have seen some position coaches that I would not describe as very good coaches. Now, generally, they'll have a strength. Maybe this guy's better at recruiting. Maybe this guy's better at scheme. Maybe this guy's better at technique. But Davis was one of the best at combining all of the different elements there. I mean, I knew a coach one time that we convinced that when we were in the indoor that we shouldn't practice on the end zones because they were more slippery. I mean, it's all the exact same turf. So, like, you better hire well because you can certainly hire poorly.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And you can get to even a place like LSU and not be the best football coach, and you're strictly a recruiter, and you get on like the board in front of his position group and you're like, wait a minute, do I know more than you? Yeah. I mean, those situations happen. Maybe that's changed a little bit. Recruiting's certainly different than when you and I were in college football. But one thing that I'm going to be paying attention to now. Okay. So like Jacobin Guillory, he's had multiple D-line coaches.
Jeez.
I'm not worried about him. Right. I mean, this is somebody that he's been here a long time. He's going to be a leader, but like now, okay, my bro, Dominic McKinley, man, you have to think that they are going
it's a really tough break for them.
Struggle with this for a little bit.
It's a bit of a weird thing to react to, as most people who are Saints fans are also LSU fans. And so on one hand, you should be happy that at a time when the Saints are trying to find their way, they had one of the best defensive line coaches to try to help guys like Brian Brzee and this new defensive line that you'll probably invest even more in to try to develop and whatnot. But you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're taking away from your favorite college team. And here's maybe the most disappointing part. So Sylvain on Twitter says, not only are the Saints bad, they can't let LSU be great. So I think to me, the sentiment there, I do agree with, which is that, and look, I'm happy for Bo Davis personally because the NFL life is way better than the college life. But the sentiment there, I do agree with, in that Bo Davis means multiple orders of magnitude more to LSU than he will to the New Orleans Saints. There's no recruiting in the NFL. Bo Davis is an expert level recruiter. And the Saints are so bad, this does not all of a sudden make them good. It makes them better, but it doesn't make them good. It doesn't make them a playoff team, nothing like that. Whereas with LSU, Bo Davis I viewed as a key piece of any potential champion pursuits that you would have over the next few years. So maybe that's, if you're purely an LSU fan, that's maybe, or even if you're a fan of both, that's the most complicated thing to parse in my mind. Is I'm happy for Bo. It's good for the Saints, but the impact on LSU is greater. The absence of Bo Davis is a greater impact on LSU than it is in the addition for the Saints. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.